is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX $419 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help. After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Local located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Welcome aboard. All right. First of all, I need to know, because I'm flying solo at the moment. Sean is not with me. So I need to know if the audio is good, if we're good. I don't know if we're good. Let me see. Do I have my hat on straight? Okay. All right. Just do I know audio good? We good? We good? Okay. Thank you, Gabriel. Appreciate you. You know, when I have somebody that actually knows what the hell they're doing, it helps. But since I don't know what I'm doing, so, it's kind of, I'm flying by the seat of my pants right now here on a Thursday, September 11th, which is a day that we will all never forget, unfortunately, 2025. Welcome aboard, folks. Time to rock and roll. We will have some fun. We will talk about all kinds of things, and even some serious things too today on the program. And unfortunately, as you all know, what happened yesterday, an absolutely disgusting act happened yesterday, which has become a common occurrence in our country. It's interesting because as you get older, you see things develop, and we used to see terrorist attacks and things like that used to happen in other countries. Oh, it doesn't happen here, and everything ends up happening here at the same time, and where eventually happens here at one point or another. The same kind of civil unrests that you see in other parts of the world. You're seeing it take place here, unfortunately, and there is no civil discourse anymore, unfortunately. And this is the reason why I'm not a fan of either party, because it's just like kind of chasing your tail, and there's no such thing as bipartisan anymore, and people don't want to work together. So it's just kind of either one or the other forcing you into their own ways. And this is kind of the clash that we have, unfortunately. And whether you like Charlie or not really had nothing to do with it, really. The guy was just words, so there's no reason that he should be shot for that. That's ridiculous. It's disgusting. But then again, this is what's happened all over our country where we're attacking our politicians for whatever side of the aisle that they stand on. And so, sad day for us. And it just continues. It's kind of a ball that is rolling downhill and it just continues to get worse and worse and worse, unfortunately. I'd love to tell you that we're going to get better as a society, but I've only seen us get worse as a society. That's all I've watched over the years. So, there's many reasons why I talk about another passport. And there's always reasons why I talk about countries that are neutral and they're not involved in any of the politics. So it's one of the many reasons why, unfortunately, So our system is broken, and when people aren't willing to work together, this is what ends up happening, unfortunately. And it happens with Trump. It happens with Pelosi. It happens. Forgive me, I forgot the Minnesota senator, I believe it was, that was killed, and the husband. So it's disgusting. It's just absolutely disgusting. And what happened with Reagan or what happened, with Kennedy, those were things that were kind of outliers. It's not it's not an outlier anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's bad. It's bad. It's bad, unfortunately. And I hope and pray for the best and hope that we can actually figure it out. But we're unfortunately going down a sad road. You know what I'm saying? So hang in there. Be an American. Don't be a Democrat or a Republican. That's my message that I keep telling you constantly, over and over and over and over and over again. Anyway, so it is what it is, and it's a terrible day. And I feel bad for the Kirk family, his wife and his two beautiful kids. They grew up without a father, which is disgusting. For no reason at all. So pray for all of us, because we all got to live in the same cesspool. Anyway, hang in there. That's all I can tell you. All right. Anyway, back to regular programming. But I'd be remiss if I did not address it. I'd be irresponsible if I did not address it. All right. Anyway, yes, Stainless, two-party system is for suckers. Yes, absolute programmed suckers to go against each other. That's exactly it, man. There's no doubt about that. Anyway, good morning, Jamie, out in San Jose. I see you're number one in the chat. One-Eyed Jack, Stephen Harris, Gus 1388, Jay Gelfin is smashing it. Alexis Palenzuela, Brian Racke, Trina Mills, Patrick Vecchio. Good morning, Big O. 52-year-old Finn fan. Watch every game. At this rate, I will never see a championship before I leave this world. Probably not. There's a good chance. I mean, I got to see the two, but I was so young. It doesn't really. I don't really even count it, to be quite honest. I was 7 and 8 years old, so it's not like I count it, but whatever. It is what it is. And it's tough, man. It's tough to see the light at the end of the tunnel right now, because you're not close to a championship. You just can't sit there and lie to yourself, unfortunately. So but what are we gonna do, right? I've been watching him screw up for decades now, and it's not like I'm giving up and going to go root for another team or anything. So I guess, whenever I check out, I won't be able to see another championship. I'm just glad that the Marlins have given me a couple. Canes football has given me a bunch with baseball. And maybe Mario now can get them back to respectability The Panthers, what they're doing now is absolutely phenomenal. The Heat had a phenomenal run. It's over for them too now. We'll see if they could ever. That's another team that, by the way, the Dolphins have never captured the Magic, but the Heat lost it completely. And I don't even know if they'll ever be able to ever even get it again, unfortunately, because they did it one way. They've never proven that they can do it this way, the way you got to do it in today's basketball. So it's tough. It cycles. We had this conversation on the show, and as I told you, right, for you, if you're 20 or 30 or 40, maybe you haven't realized it yet, but as you get a little older, you start to realize it. And I'm like 60. Okay, well, I'll be 59 October 1st. Okay, in a couple of weeks, I'll be 59. Okay, so think about this. I've explained this. In my lifetime, the Dolphins did it for one stretch in the 70s. In my lifetime, the Canes did it for one stretch, 80 to 90s. The 2001 really doesn't even count. That's like an isolated, separate championship on itself. It's really not part of the run between 83 and 91. No, that's a run. 83 or 91, when you win 4, that's a run. When you go without another one for 10 years, that one is separate on its own. Really, it's not. It's part of the 5, but really it was the stretch. It happened once. Then I got the Heat. One time. And now I'm in the middle of the Panthers, and that's where this conversation was ignited during the Panther run. Remember that I told you, and I reminded you all, that this old man, this shit doesn't go on all the time. In fact, it happens once in your lifetime. So you got to hope that if you're a young person and you've gone through the Heat and the Panther run, that your Dolphin run is coming, but down the line, maybe I'm gone, but it's coming down the line. You hope, at least. But it's going to happen just once in your lifetime. If it happens. It's not going to happen all the time. It just comes. You know how they accuse Tua of throwing interceptions in bunches? Well, the greatness happens in bunches, and then it's gone. Poof. Disappears. That's why we say this Panther run, dude, savor it, savor the trips for the cup to the different places that these guys take it to. Savor the parades, savor any free agent pickup, savor each regular season win, all of that, because it's precious. Look at the Heat. They're a shell of what they used to be. A fucking shell of what they used to be. They're not feared. They're not anything anymore. They're a run-of-the-mill, middle-of-the-road team now. Nobody looks at them like an elite franchise anymore. Playing-wise. Everybody knows Spo's elite, but the franchise is not elite anymore. It's a play-in team at best, is what it is. Think about that. Their run is over. Their run is done, dude. Done. We are 11 years removed from that championship already. We're into the second decade away from that championship. Dead and gone. And they're not even close to a champion. They don't even have one star. And one star is not even enough to win you a championship. Okay? So think about that. Enjoy anything and every moment that you can when you have these kind of things go on, because you just don't know when it's going to happen again. We are waiting forever for the Miami Dolphins. When Marino was just a little bit of a tease because he was such a freak, and he can only do so much as a freak, but they never supported him. They never really brought the goods around him. So we got our freak that you only get one of those. Also, by the way, it's not like the Bulls get another Michael Jordan. That's it. They had their Michael Jordan. They had their run.
They don't come to close to resemble that ever again. And you wonder, the Dolphin run was an undefeated run and all that. So it's like we're paying a heavy price for, to go back to that mountain again. It's like we were there. Most of you didn't see it. Some of us saw it very young. A couple of you really got to enjoy it. But, it was a long, long time ago. It was a half a century ago. That's effed up, dude. That's effed up. It's a lifetime, couple lifetimes. So, it's insane. And yeah, we just keep waiting, and I don't know if we'll see it. You know what I mean? Because right now, they're nowhere near it. They still don't understand what it is to develop an attitude and a running game. They still don't understand that. The guy that we have coaching still doesn't understand that even before you ever develop a real running game that people will fear, you have to have the attitude that you can do it. And does that exist? Did it exist under Shula? Did it exist under anybody? Maybe Wanstead wanted to run a lot. I'll give him credit because he did whatever he could, Ricky and Lamar and all that. So to Wanstead's credit, he couldn't find the quarterback, but he did understand the basis of running the football. You know how fucked up that is? I'm sorry for my French. That effing Dave Wanstead understands foundationally more what you've got to do than Mike McDaniel, than Adam Gase. Is that insane? Insane. In the membrane and everywhere. Just crazy. By the way, use our code at Caneswear, Big O10. You will get 10% off at Caneswear. And remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. Also Chainlink and Solana. Yeah. By the way, Bitcoin right now is at 114. Now it dropped to 105. That's pretty funny how I just caught it at 114. That's funny. You know what? Let me give you a little crypto corner. The only thing is, since I suck with all of this stuff, I gotta find the damn billboards that go with it. And that's the thing about having my man Sean Stanley there. But you can call our friends at R&M Contractors, 305-345-3649. Bitcoin right now. I got some juicy stuff. I got hang on, I got a Bitcoin prediction for you. And this is a wicked prediction. And I want you to hold my feet to the fire. You can call me an idiot, a moron, and all that when I get it wrong. Because you know me, I get all this stuff wrong. I'm terrible at all this stuff. But anyway, getting back to my point, Bitcoin is at 114,000, which is a beautiful thing. Solana is stuck around $226. It's up 1%, but it has been flying, baby. Avalanche is over $28, almost at 29. It got over 29 yesterday, dropped a little bit, but it's up 1.5% right now. So we've got a couple of them moving. As for the markets, well, the Dow is moving, baby. It is up 466 points. The S&P is up 37.5, and the NASDAQ is up 1%. A point, that is. And we had a terrible jobs report, which we came in losing more jobs. It was like an average of 234 they expected. It was like 264 or something, like 30,000 more jobs. So stagflation is starting to even grow more, where we're losing more jobs and inflation is climbing. Inflation climbed to 2.9%. Inflation continues to rise. Okay. Let me tell you what I think is going to end up happening here. And I'm going to explain a situation that happened 5 years ago. In 2020 to 2021, Bitcoin in March 21, listen to me well here. In March 20, think about how many less people knew about Bitcoin, understood it, whatever, in 2020. Okay? Very few of you out there, much less than now. Okay? Now that it's gone through the media and the government and they're approving shit and all that, everybody knows a lot more, and they're actually looking into it. They're, when I was talking about it back in 2020 or 2019, you were calling me an idiot and a moron. And you still do that, and that's all right. I deserve it. But in March 21 of 2020, Bitcoin was at $6,800. Okay? A little over a year later, about a year and a half later, on November 10th of 2021, it peaked at $68,000. Well, for what a lot of people don't understand, at that moment, we were getting hit with pandemic. We were getting hit with the threat of the recession. And so people that didn't even know about Bitcoin and didn't understand Bitcoin stashed their money there. And the thing went all the way up to $68,000. 5 years ago, when nobody knew about it. Think about that. Okay, when less people knew about it, they went to go stash their money because they were afraid of a recession. But what happened was Trump and Biden started printing money and started, what was the name of those checks? They started giving us all checks, whatever they were called. You guys know those handouts that they were giving out and all that stuff. And so then people that kind of relieved it all. And so those people pulled their money back out again. And it dropped all the way down to 16,000. And schmucks like me, said, wow, I could get Bitcoin now. And we started getting Bitcoin, So it was a beautiful thing and all of that. Okay. Now I want you to fast forward. It's 5 years later. They have printed, from Trump printing 7.8 trillion to Biden printing 8.2 trillion. Trump is now headed for $10 trillion to print in his 4 years. Okay, so you think about that. We are talking about $26 million, $26 trillion that they're going to print. Right now, we are headed where we've never been in forever. Stagflation, where inflation is rising and we're losing jobs. It's going both ways. So the feds are going to cut, and they're going to cut now. They're going to cut at least 3 times this year, probably a quarter. I don't think they'll go a half because they don't want to send in panic to the markets. If they cut a half a point, that's kind of telling everybody it's really bad. They'd rather cut a quarter point and cut consistently over time, instead of big cuts and then panic, and then they gotta then hold back and all that. So I think they're gonna go. They already were too late, but they're gonna go slow on the cuts, quarter point now. I don't think they're gonna go to a half. They should probably, but I don't think. Okay, we are headed for a recession. They're going to print like crazy. They're going to try to make things, a little better during the holidays and the beginning of the new year. And then maybe into the second and third quarters and fourth quarters of next year, it'll start to get significantly worse. Okay. It'll be bad, but they're going to start printing money because now they'll lower the rates. They'll refinance, and, they'll flood the streets with money. But what they're going to do is print more money. So they're going to devalue more of the dollar. And so more chances of a recession. Okay, Bitcoin right now is at $114,000. And people know about it. Institutions are buying it. Governments are buying it. Okay? Institutions, financial institutions are buying it at almost 3x the rate that you mine it per day. This is excluding you and me and governments and all that. I'm just talking about financial institutions. So we're gonna have a supply crunch. We have a lot less Bitcoin available now than we did 5 years ago because it's been bought up, it's been owned, and it doesn't move. It's not getting sold. We are now, this is day number 80, over 100,000. This is the norm. As this thing gets worse, where do you think they're going to hide their money? Where do you think they're going to have their money put? So these people talking about a 200,000 Bitcoin, I think it's easy 200,000 by the end of the year. And that's just a few months from now. I think we're going to have some violent rips as people realize how bad things are. By the way, I didn't know this was a thing. You know how I always tell you that the Bitcoin hash rate is at 920 quadrillion. The Bitcoin hash rate is at 930 quadrillion. The Bitcoin hash rate is at 960 quadrillion. So I was wondering what happens when we get over 999 and we add that next digit. I didn't know this. Did you know this? Bitcoin's hash rate hit 1 sextillion. I had no idea there's a sextillion. And that's a 1 and 7 sets of 3 zeros, not 6. It's a sextillion, so you get an extra threesome. Got to have a lot of fun. That's what it's all about. So the hash rate is getting even stronger. That means the network is even more secure. That means there's even more miners. That means it is the most powerful and the most secure network in the world. And price follows hash rate. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because it's all there. You know, Hong Kong now is proposing easing capital rules for banks holding Bitcoin and crypto. This is all changing everywhere, all over the world. And it's going to be a race to mine what's left. It's easy to buy for you. Cash App, a Tangent wallet, easy to use. Move your stuff over. Never keep your Bitcoin on any exchange. Always keep it on your cold storage wallet. Cash App, you can move it for free. Go to YouTube, watch the videos, learn how to move it from one app to another. You can just put that in there and search it. How do I move my Bitcoin from Cash App to Tangent? It'll show you. Follow the steps. Do your homework. Use your brain. Take advantage. This is once in a lifetime. The violent rips that are coming are going to blow you away. So there you go. Call Ray or Mike at R&M Contractors. Complete remodel, kitchen upgrade, impact windows, door installation. We are in storm season. Bathroom upgrades. They do it all. And tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. 305-345-3649. All right. Let's see what we got here on the chat board. Corso, Kosa, Yader, Big Johnson, Gabriel, Dolphin Don, Alexis Palenzuela, Rock Bear is out in the UK, Stainless, Juan Rosa. We're all praying for better days, my brother. Let's see what else. You refuse to have kids, Corso. I don't blame you. It's a tough one. It's a huge responsibility, bro. Huge responsibility. Ragin is in the house. John Padilla. Jeff in Long Island. Emilio, thank you, sir. Smash the like button, please. Come on, let's go. Get us over 100, man. You guys are only 58. It's already 121 watching. Let's go. Smash the hell out of that like button. Come on. Ty in the Bronx. NorCal is in. What else? Lenny Pena. I hope all is well with you. I'm a depressed Dolphin fan. It's not a good feeling to be the laughing stock of the NFL. You know, it's tough for all of us as Dolphin fans. And what makes it harder for us, okay, example. You expecting anything from the Miami Heat? If you have a brain, if you have common sense, if you want to be a little fanboy, fangirl, and you can't hear and you want to like convince yourself that you're going to the Eastern Conference Finals or something, you go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, you know you're not really anything special with the Heat. You're lucky to be a play-in team if you get there, right? But one of the things you know you love to watch is that you got one of the best coaches in the NBA. So it makes you feel at least a little better that you're going to watch competence. You're going to watch young guys grow. There's going to be some structure, those kind of things. Spo and his staff will provide that. He'll get the best out of whatever is given to him, since, you know, he hasn't received anything special from the front office in a long, long time, you know. So it is what it is, but you have so much respect for Spo that you'll watch it and you have a little bit more hope. Well, the guy you're watching representing the Miami Dolphins doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And whether it's Joe Philbin, whether it's Cam Cameron, whether it's Tony Sperano, rest in peace, Adam Gase, who actually, you know, to Adam Gase's credit, he created social distancing even before the pandemic was invented. So we got to credit him with that, because that was something he was forward thinking there. But in all seriousness, these are people that instill no confidence whatsoever. And as things go awry, it doesn't get any better. It gets worse, because they haven't proven to you. It's like what I told you yesterday. McDaniel is in a position to do something he's never done before. Overcome adversity. He doesn't do that. It's not who he is. You know that, and I know that. And that's why you're a depressed Dolphin fan. Because deep down inside, why do you think all offseason I warned you all this is going to be a bad season? This is not a well-constructed team. There is no depth all over the place. You've got a bad coach. So that's a terrible combination. Plus, there's no respect for him in that building. I don't care what bullshit they were trying to sell you in training camp. I told you this all throughout, did I not? And that's your problem. Some of you out there will admit it to yourselves that you see it and all that. Like, I've heard some of you like, no, oh, you're right. This is like, you know, and then some of you, like, remember that soft ass fan? Oh, I can't believe you guys are talking about the season's over before it starts. We still have people that are, oh, it's too quick to overreact from week one. What the fuck are you watching, dude? Did you not watch the last couple of years? The incompetence? Like, all we talked about in the offseason is that some of you actually thought, no, McDaniel will figure it out this year. Or I don't know where you came up with that. I don't know. You had no proof. But somehow or another, you convince yourselves that, no, he'll figure it out. No, he's going to run this year. It's going to be physical. They gave him Ollie. They'll be lined up. He'll get plays in on time. Yeah, everything. Yeah, no. It's all there. Yes, he's going to fix it all. Like, seriously? After 3 years, after what you've been watching, you're going to tell yourself that. And that, so those of you that are depressed, at least you're honest with yourselves. And I commend you for that. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks to know that your season's already over. But that's the reality. That is the reality. And by the way, it's not like you have any hope at turning this around for it to be a great team or something. What are you turning it around for? What? To be lucky to get the last spot in the playoffs so you can get spanked and sent home? So Dolphins. Which it's not going to happen, but I'm just saying, is that what you're is this what we're that's our end game? You know. So I understand the depression. I've already had it since the offseason because I saw it. It's like so obvious what's going on. Anybody that would think that this team was going to make any kind of noise is out of their minds. So that's really the issue. Anyway. Visit our friends at Sloman's Home Shield, 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME at Sloman's Home Shield. And tell them that Big O sent you, folks. And now they have Shield Link, which is actually really, really cool. And Shield Link is where all your smart devices actually work together seamlessly and effortlessly. Sloman's Shield Link. That vision becomes reality from a single intuitive app. You can control the lights, the climate, the door locks, the music, the blinds, the TVs, just about anything in your home. So if you're driving home, you want to turn on the AC so it's cooler for you, you can actually do that. Or if you're out and you want some lights in there so it looks like there's some action going on, you can do that. Whether you're at the couch or whatever, somebody's at the door, you can check it out. You don't even have to get up. If you see it's somebody trying to sell some bullshit or whatever, you can just leave them at the door and forget about it. ShieldLink combines professional-grade security monitoring with cutting-edge smart home automation. Homeowners can lock doors, adjust the thermostat, switch lights on and off, view live camera feeds, and even create automated routines, all from a single dashboard 24/7. Experts are there for you. You can reach them anytime. All-in-one control, advanced protection, personalized automation, and, of course, peace of mind. You can stay connected and in control no matter where you are. Please reach out to them. Go to slomanshieldlink.com to find out more. Call them at 1-800-ALARM-ME. We are in, I believe it's 14 different states, so we could be in your state. And tell them that Big O sent you. There is Alarmo. He'll take care of you. And Sloman's been taking care of Americans for 100 years. A rat. 1-800-ALARM-ME. A rat. What else do we have going on in here? Don't forget Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can use those QR codes there that we show you to make a donation. Send in your comments, questions, insults too. All right. Ray, thank you, my man. Appreciate you as always. He says, good morning. Sad and sick in yesterday's event. Yeah, just unacceptable. He says, keep stacking those Bitcoin no matter what and block all that noise. Don't sleep on XRP. Ray's a big XRP guy. There's a lot of people big on XRP. All right, what do we got here on the chat board? Rajan says, it won't happen in Miami. My best friend is a Steeler fan, and he became a fan in the Bradshaw days, and he got more titles. Yep, that's one of those teams that has been able to get and have some success down the line. They haven't had it in a while, but yeah, they did sprinkle in a championship with Cowher and one with Tomlin outside of the ones that they won back in the day. It's like the Cowboys. They got something in the 70s, and then they got with Jimmy. Some teams are lucky, and they're able to enjoy it a couple times. But more often than not, dude, it's once in a lifetime, and it's done. You know, so Oscar Big Red Rojas in the house. He's smashing it. James Gray is in. It's got like a shitload of things going on here. Let's see. Nyborg. We will never get a top-level coach or GM candidate to come to Miami because word on the street is Stephen Ross is an absentee owner. Emilio says Dan Campbell, Todd Bowles, and Broncos head coach have all been Dolphin coaches. Yes, Emilio, but, first of all, you can have Todd Bowles all you want. And the Dan Campbell one, you guys got to stop repeating stupid things, bro. Dan Campbell wasn't ready when he was here. He went to go learn with Sean Payne for like 5 or 6 years. That's how he learned how to be a head coach, not when he was in Miami. So Emilio and everybody else, stop fucking repeating the stupid Dan Campbell story. You sound dumb. Do you understand that? You sound dumb. At that point, he would have failed here badly. He wasn't ready to be a head coach. He didn't know how to build a staff. None of that went on. And by the way, he lost his coordinators and got his ass kicked. So let's see if he can actually rebuild the staff too now. And he's got to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, chill out. Stop with the Dan Campbell stuff, dude, please. And Todd Bowles, don't embarrass yourself. Pinball Wizard in the house. Ray Varnicus, stimulus checks. That's it. That's the bullshit they gave us. That's it. McDaniel looked like someone just let him out of a headlock every time I see him. Yes. Yes, it does, James. Robert T. Miles Deep out in Vegas. Joey Smith. Let's see. White man from town. I agree. R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. R. Eric. Mr. Spock, if you were entertaining a head coaching job from this organization, would you want to work with Greer? I think most proven coaches would want someone, some control or people trust in charge of personnel. Listen, man, when and if they make head coach, GM changes, then we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? But I get this question all the time. So who do you want as a head coach? Well, I don't know. Do we need a head coach yet? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And who's available? I don't know. When is it going to happen? Is it going to happen next week? Is it going to happen a month from now? Is it going to happen next year? Is it going to happen in the off season? At that point, who's available? Okay. Well, who do you want for GM? Well, have they changed the GM yet? No? Okay, so why am I going to waste my time talking about all that shit? I get it, dude. There's a lot of places out there that have got to do shows, and they really don't have the ability to talk and create other talk, so they've got to come up with hypotheticals. And their shows are based on a whole bunch of hot air that none of it ever comes to material. Just doesn't materialize, doesn't end up anything. It's just hot air, and you just waste your time talking about so-called coach and so-called GM when they haven't made the change. You don't even know if the person's available or if they want to come here or whatever. You have no idea, but you're just going to go off and just talk about stupid shit. And so that's the thing that I don't do on the show. So I'll wait till they make the changes, and then we can actually address it and talk about it, But there's a lot of weak-ass hosts out there that they need to talk about hypotheticals in order to survive. So knock yourselves out. Let's see. Christian says, my children are my purpose. Family is everything. Amen. I do everything for my daughter. All my Bitcoin goes to my daughter. It's not for me. Let's see. Think Blue Dodgers is checking in. Josh, NFL are investigating. Yeah, they're investigating what? Do they have any subpoena power? No. So they'll wait for the trial to end. And when will that trial end? Sometime next year? Is it going to be ending in the next month during the season? Probably not. So is it even going to be the Dolphins' problem because the season might be over by the time that trial's over? You know what I'm saying? Don't get too hung up on it. All right. Here's what I will tell you. Don't get hung up on the whole story with Tyreek and his ex-wife. Could be true, may not be true, could be just, part of a ploy. Who knows, dude? Any of it could be right. It might be all lies and it might be all true. We have no idea. In the end, this investigation is going to take a while. Probably not during this season. But I will tell you this. Here's where the Tyreek situation becomes another problem mounted for the Dolphins. And it's not for this season. That's up to the head coach to figure out the offense and get everything going and all of that, but it's trade. And so then now you've got all this domestic crap. And if you want to trade him during the trading deadline, said team that acquires him has to now deal with PR questions that they don't want to deal with. So it's also going to make a team look like, wow, you guys are potentially adding an abusive husband just because you need to win. And so now that is the part that I'm looking at. See, all you other people are worried about, the investigation and what's it going to lead to and this and that. And I don't give a shit about any of that. I don't care about Tyreek. I told you from the off season, right? When all the idiots were, trade Tyreek. And no, they're not going to trade him. They're not going to trade him. They're not going to trade him. And I told you in the off season, when he'll get traded is the deadline. If they're out of the playoffs, which they'll be, and he's kept his head straight and clean, they'll have a chance to move. This adds a little bit of a curve. You got to have a really desperate team to acquire him now. Just because of stupid shit like this. So that's what I'm concerned. That instead of the third, it's a fifth. Instead of the fifth, it's a sixth or a seventh or whatever because of this crap. That's the only thing that I would be concerned about with Tyreek. I'm not worried about this season. I never was worried about this season. Season was over before it started. But this Tyreek situation, I just worry, does it hurt the trade value a little bit? That's the only thing I'm concerned about. Because you're probably going to move Tyreek or Chubb, or both, as I told you, over and over again throughout the offseason. Everybody else will catch up to us. Okay, when we told you the season pretty much was over before it started, they were all in denial. Now they're all catching up to us. When we told you that Tyreek would never be traded in the offseason, well, they kept talking about it, and now they caught up to us. And we told you in the offseason months ago that he would be traded, if he is going to be traded, in the trading deadline. Now they're all doing, Tyreek now to be traded, and it's nice to see that they're all catching up over here. That they all catch up over here. And by the way, I think we told you months ago, this was a transition year, that we're going to see a firing of a coach and an interim step in way before they're all talking about it now. We play chess, they play checkers. Welcome aboard. Okay? welcome aboard. Jesus. Anyway, sweet baby Ray is in the house. No chance that Jalen Ramsey gets revenge on McD. Might be Weaver by then. Oh, yeah. Probably. Got a new attitude. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Sam the man. Steven says, even Rex Ryan sees McDaniel as a failure. As much as I don't care what he says, he's correct. I mean, it's obvious. Doesn't matter. I mean, the dude's a goofball out there. He has no idea what the hell he's doing. That's the sad part. One-Eyed Jack says, I knew it wasn't going to be a good team, but wow, was Sunday. Yeah, that I'm with you there. Like, I expected a bad year. I told you guys. I was even nice with a 7-10 and everything. But I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I agree. It was like horrific, dude. Horrific. Like he took incompetence to a Cam Cameron-like level. Yeah. Yeah. Corso, morning. Oh, can Alarmo block for us this week? Hey, listen. We have 2 injuries, right? Ready to go. Chris Greer's just got to give me a ring. Marvin Allen. You know, any of them. Tom Garfinkel, Stephen Ross. They want to give me a ring. I've got a couple of Alarmos ready to go to replace your right tackle and your right guard. Okay. Protecting Americans and the Dolphins for 100 years. They just got to make the call. I got to negotiate, you know. Drew negotiates for his guys, knuckleheads. I negotiate for my guys. Studs. WK wants me to admit that Tua ain't the guy. Brian Landis, NorCal. Big O, what week do the Dolphins start trading for draft picks? A couple more weeks. They can start to think about it. They got to officially, you know, the dog and pony show's got to play out a little bit, you know. It just got put on fast forward a little bit more, that's all. I don't think that they were planning on firing him this early, but they may have to fire him this early. So, B-Rob is in the house. Why didn't Ross get rid of Greer, McDaniel, and trade Tua this past offseason? B-Rob, because you can't trade Tua. You're fiscally tied to him for 2 more years, this year and next year. Just like they weren't going to trade Tyreek because of the cap implications. The problem is you read too many idiots that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Or you're paying attention to Facebook posts or fans that are doing shows that don't know what the hell they're talking about. There are money issues that are tied to it. So you're stuck with Tua for 2 years, this year and next year, whether you like it or not. I don't know how many times I got to repeat it, and you people just don't want to learn. And I told you that Tyreek was never going to get traded in the offseason because of the cap implications to it. And people just did not want to listen. And they kept writing and talking about it. And did it happen? No, it didn't happen. So you look really stupid. So I'm trying to save you from embarrassment. You want to get rid of the other guys? You can get rid of the other guys. There are no salary cap implications to it. But for Tua, oh man, get a brain. Understand. I don't give a shit how much you hate him. That doesn't matter to me. How much you hate him, how much you dislike him, how much you disbelieve in him, okay? They cannot move him. The contract just started. It's a $200 million contract. They cannot accelerate it. They would have to eliminate a bunch of players. You know, it's just like you tell people, you give them logic, you tell them exactly what's going to happen, and they still want to say stupid shit and keep repeating it. And, you know, it's just because we have a lot of irresponsible people that cover the Dolphins, that write about the Dolphins, that talk about the Dolphins and they just talk with their emotions and they use no logic and they just don't understand the business of it. So for the 4,000th time, it doesn't matter whether I like Tua or not. Has nothing to do with it. They cannot trade him. They're stuck. Even if they wanted to. I don't know if they want to or not. I'm just saying, they cannot. Just get over it already. Just next year, celebrate that it'll be his last year for you. That's what you can do, B-Rob. But do yourself a favor. Stop acting stupid, because you were probably the same guy saying trade Tyreek, and the morons signed them last year to that money and they screwed themselves. And that's it. And that was just a stupid move. And I told them, many people in that building over and over again, do not give Tyreek the guarantees. I don't have the exact insight on this, but my educated guess is that the front office gave in to Mike McDaniel. And Mike McDaniel is the one that was kind of the guy that put him over the top to get Tyreek the money. Because from what I understood, the people in the front office didn't want to pay Tyreek. But it falls on them, unfortunately. It falls as a mistake. It was dumb. And I kept telling everybody, they're not trading him. They can't trade him. So understand there's money issues here, and you can't just sidestep them. That's all. No matter if somebody tells you that the salary cap isn't real or something stupid like that. Skylar Tipton, Ender is in the house. Jesse, I think the Dolphins should adopt your Heat plan. Trade as many guys away for draft picks. The next GM and coach will have more to build with. R. Eric says, I can appreciate how Jim Irsay's daughter is doing things. ATM. She was on the sideline with the headset to understand the experience. Well, we'll see if there's any results. Ring back Saban. Yeah, please. Castle, Chiefs seem to be the hey, by the way, I don't know who this James Gray is. My brother, this shit doesn't fly on the chat board. 40,000 posts because you want to try to dominate. You get blocked for this. Just so you'll know. Make your comment and stand back. But if you think you're going to keep like running it, you will get blocked like right away. Just so you'll know. Okay? So I don't know if you keep doing it as I scroll down. If you do, you're going to be gone. Just so you'll know. Someone needs to slip a Dairy Queen hot dog into McPrick's food so someone else can call plays while he's in the shitter. Maybe it will buy us a week. That's a good. I got to tell you a thing, Blue Dodgers. A Dairy Queen hot dog will put Mike McDaniel away for a couple of games. I like that. I like that move. You know, it's not, anything bad. He's just, somewhere throwing up and dumping all over the place like I was for days. Yes, I would agree with that. That's a good move, think Blue Dodgers. I like that. Fernando says, I would also trade Waddle. He was good the first year. After that, he looked soft. Yeah, he has. Brother, Waddle has turned into, like, fragile, bro. Jesus. Every moment he gets banged up and he's out and this and that. It's like, I'm sick of it already, dude. And he drops too many damn footballs on top of all of that, which has been a problem I've had with him. Now he's become like an injury-prone player. Look at Austin Jackson. He's become a sack of injuries too now. Nyborg says if we had 22 Alarmos on the Dolphin roster, our problem in the AFC would be over very quickly. I agree with that. I agree. If we had that many Alarmos, that would be the bomb. So, what else do we have here on the chat board? Should have never given that contract to Tua. Yeah, that's always a legitimate gripe to not give Tua that contract. You could have held out for another year and tagged him. I get it. I understand giving him the contract. See, for me, it's not about the contract. It's not about the player. It's all about the football that you're being played, So that's where I think I think that's where too many of you don't understand football. Because Drew Brees wasn't able to move around either, and neither was Tom Brady, and neither is Peyton Manning and all those kind of guys. You're supposed to run the ball. You're supposed to protect. You know what I'm saying? And we don't do any of those things. And so Tua's not a freak. He's a hell of a passer, but if you're going to make him obvious, I already explained it yesterday with Kevin O'Connell, you're going to kill him. And that's just the way. He can't overcome your terrible coaching. And if there's no commitment to the run, it's impossible. So Thomas Nieto on Twitter, he says, I don't post personal tweets on here, but I heard something today that I felt needed to be spread. I was listening to Big O's show and he expressed my feelings perfectly. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm an American. Thanks, bro, because I needed to hear that more than I knew. Oh, that's, ever since I became a Bitcoiner and learned what's going on with our money and learned about Bitcoin, I also got to learn at the same time and really understand how evil and bad both sides are and how they pit us against each other and how none of them can produce a good candidate. And all of them can do the same thing, bury us and fiscally hurt us and emotionally and patriotically put us against each other, which is like the dumbest thing in the world. So our enemies are loving what's happening, but that's because we have chosen a silly side instead of only one. Instead of being an American, we've chosen to be something stupid on the left or something moronic on the right. I don't know, whatever it is. But they're both garbage. So, if that's what you want to represent, go ahead, man. You're helping the country sink. That's all. It's not like it's advancing with either side. And that's been proven over and over again, unfortunately. But unfortunately, it's like a lot of people, they don't want to learn about money. They don't want to understand. So they don't open their minds to Bitcoin. So they don't get it. They don't understand the blockchain. So they close themselves off and they're lazy. So if you don't open your mind, you won't realize that the two sides you're on are terrible. And we've got to create a better side because neither one has got it going on. You know who's got it going on? My friends at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, Alan and the great people at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, 16100 Pines Boulevard. And tell them that Big O sent you because you will get $500 off. You can use that QR code. Or when you go to buy a lease a vehicle like the Forester, $257 a month, 3.9% financing, the 2025 Outback, $247 a month, 0.9% financing. That is absolutely awesome. The Crosstrek, $197 a month, 2.9% financing. Yeah, I said that. $197 a month for the Crosstrek. Cool car, cool SUV. Since we got a lot of rain and stuff, awesome. The Subaru Legacy, $267 a month, 3.9% financing is available. The Forester Premium Hybrid, beautiful, stacked vehicle, 4.49 APR financing, $447 a month. Check it out. And again, get $500 off when you go there. Tell them that Big O sent you, of course, at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. All right. Christian DiMartino Thank you, my friend, for the love on Venmo. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or Chainlink donation. Let's see. He says, we knew and know what this season is. However, I want to see how Tua reacts and performs in the next few weeks. Bro, if you don't run or block, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. If the decline continues and we have to pay him regardless, maybe by week 9 or 10, we just bench him and play Ewers. Ewers won't do shit either if you can't run or block. What is wrong with you people? Thanks for the donation, Christian, but you're not getting it, dude. You're not getting it. If you don't run or block, no one survives. Like that, the craziest shit to think is that Ewers is going to do better than Tua when you can't run or block. And when your coach can't call plays, he can't commit to the run. He doesn't even have an attitude for it. Can't get plays in on time. People can't line up in the right place. No one succeeds under him. Have you not seen that already? What is wrong with you people? Seriously, dude. Like, I appreciate the donation, but you couldn't be more off. The fact you think that you put Ewers in there, anything is going to change? Are you insane? Wow. That's like not even paying attention to what's going on, actually. They can't block. They can't run the ball. They're one-dimensional, and you've got a terrible coach on the sidelines that can't call plays. How does anybody succeed? Oh, yeah, no, it's all Tua's fault. Wow. Man, you people got to learn football. Holy shit. I hope the next comment, Christian, is, you know what, oh, thank you for enlightening me. I may not like Tua, but you're right. Nobody can succeed under this offense. And for me to think Ewers is going to succeed at this level with a coach that can't put you in an advantage, like I explained yesterday with Kevin O'Connell, it is baffling, bro. Baffling. You know what? I got to turn on the AC. Give me 15, 30 seconds here. Fucking piss me off.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
All right, we're back. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar and the one and only Alan Blanco. Tonight, we got some football. Green Bay at home, taking on Washington. Is that line still -3? Isn't Love out, Sean? Didn't I see that Love was out? Is that line still 3? Is Love really out, or did I not get it right? I thought I saw that Love was out. Yeah, the Packers are getting 3. So is Love playing? Can you find that out for me? I thought he was out. Anyway, over and under is 48.5. Washington is +155. Green Bay is -190. Saturday, Inter Miami, no Luis Suarez. They will take on Charlotte. They are on the road. Charlotte, by the way, is the third place team in the table with 50 points. Inter Miami is down to sixth place with 46. We'll see what happens on Saturday. They've got to play 6 games in the next 3 weeks. That's insane for the old legs of Inter Miami. Also on Saturday at 4:30, the University of Miami will take on South Florida. is favored by 17.5. The over and under is 57.5. South Florida plus 525. minus 800. See if the boys can get it done. I think they will too. And then on Sunday at 1 o'clock, Patriots and the Dolphins, and the Pats are still, the Dolphins, by the way, are still favored by 1.5 points in that matchup. And we will have a post-game show for you for the Canes. Manny Navarro will join us fresh from the locker rooms with our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. On Sunday, we'll do the pregame show, and then we'll do the postgame show. Chris Perkins and the one and only David Furones will join us also fresh from the locker rooms. We'll see if they can win. This is going to be a really difficult game to win for them. Really difficult game because the better coach is on that side. And that's really, the issue. Let's see. I did not get to the movies yesterday. Today, I think I'm going to go see Caught Stealing. And I looked at the movies that are coming out this week. Nothing, it's kind of been a little bit of a lull. But I'm going to try to get Caught Stealing today at 7, I believe, is when I'm going. What else? Big O, we all need to be American Bitcoiners and maybe start a party and name it after that. Fiscally for sure, but I just wish we would find something more in the middle. Like I said, it's amazing. Go look at Kentucky. Right in the middle of our country. It's run by a Democratic governor that gets red and blue to work together. Bashir, he's really good. And then you look at Rand Paul, and he goes against all the stupid fiscal crap that his side of the party does too. And so you look at it, you've got a Dem and a rep in that state that is more middle than the people in each party. Like, you could put those two guys together to run. Not that it would ever happen, but it would be cool because it's two guys that are more in the middle from those two whacked out parties. Think about it. A Democratic governor runs Kentucky. He gets all the red there to work together with the blue. It's pretty impressive. That's the kind of guy we need. People like that. Rand Paul, people like that we need. That, all these idiots like Trump and all these morons came up with this stupid, big, beautiful bill. He's like, no, dude, this is adding $5 trillion to our debt and all that. And he's the only guy that was calling it out. Because, of course, that's why he was disinvited and all that shit from a party, and people were going after him because that's how it is. If you disagree with the emperor, they go after you. And that's what I liked about Rand Paul, that he was willing to say what needed to be said, even though all the tools went and followed the orangutan and followed. That's what I like. I like the guys that are a little bit more in the middle. And Rand Paul and Bashir are two guys from those two whacked out parties that are at least, they have more common sense than the idiots that are in those parties on either side. It's crazy. It's insane, dude. Anyway, let's see. What do we have here? How are people this dumb? Do they not watch football or underestimate thinking a green rookie can come in and say, yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Not with that coach, bro. Not and you can't block and you can't run and you just can't do that, dude. Just can't do that. I'm sorry. Nobody will. Nobody. Yeah, you know what, Ray? And by the way, I didn't see you at the concert, bro. I was looking for you. And when I hung out in the area over there, I don't know if you ended up going to the Howard Jones concert and Haircut 100, but I didn't see you, bro. But Ray is right. We got to give our boy here a blind ass fan alert, because anybody that thinks Quinn Ewers or anybody else, and with McDaniel and this clown show is actually going to have success, that is blind ass fan alert all the way. Sean, fire away, please.
Blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
Yep. Yeah, Christian. Unfortunately, we had to give you the blind ass fan alert, my brother. That was bad. That wasn't good. Let's just put it that way. That was not good, my man. That was not good. Quinn Ewers is going to save the day. Here he comes to save the day. Mighty Ewers. Kevin Grant, Big O, why can't we realize that the Dolphins don't have a franchise QB? Tua, who is he? First of all, I'd like to have a franchise line. I'd like to have actually a running game and a real coach. And I think it would be a whole different ballgame. But, that's fine. Whatever. Big O, simple solution. I'm not even a head coach to bring in play on time. Just line up on the line after each play like the 2-minute drill, and that's it. You got to run the ball, man. And people got to rest. You can't run a K gun the entire time. That's you better be Jim Kelly and company if you're going to run the K gun. We don't have Thurman Thomas back there. We don't have their offensive line. Okay? No, we don't have that, my man. No, we can't do that. All right? No. Their one receiver is better than both of our receivers combined. Okay? Yeah, no, I just no. Hell, Don Beebe might be more reliable than some of our top receivers. Let's see. What else do we have? Big O, simple solution. No, wait a minute. What do we have here? Follow the formula. Yeah, I read that. Sad part is Christian is serious. Let's put in the rookie. Yeah, no, it's just bad. You like the Mighty Mouse reference, don't you? There we go. Got to the concert late into the third song from Haircut 100. It was really good. Hojo was great. I kept looking around in the crowd to see if I saw you and the wife. Oh, so you got there a little late. That's why. Okay. But in between the two bands, I went out too. So you should have gone out to the Concorsi, because I went in between Haircut 100 and Howard. I went outside too because I went looking for your ass to see if you were there. Anyway, the wife didn't wear the sweater that day. She wore a shirt that day. But yeah. But yeah, we were looking for you there. All right, what else do we have going on? We told you about the Tyreek situation and what my real concern was earlier. Game 2. This is a game that people are calling it a must-win. Okay, so let me ask you something. A must-win for what? I'm sorry, a must-win for your sanity? Is that what we're talking about? Or are you somehow lying to yourself that the must-win in week 2 saves the season, gives you hope, you're going to the playoffs, you will win a playoff game? I'm sorry, how deranged is the lie? Sorry, where's the Kool-Aid? What Kool-Aid are you drinking? Is what I want to know. Because that's that Kool-Aid is spiked. Okay? I mean, spite. Does have a little wang to it. If you know that reference, if you can get that reference, that's good. But seriously, what's this must win? I mean, I want them to win too because I want to see the Dolphins win. But I love how people are like, well, it's too early to panic. And you know, I wanted to go around the web and I'm seeing it comes up on my timeline, Cameron Wolf with somebody on the NFL Network and whatever. And I retweeted like, panic, bro. The panic should have started in the offseason. The season was over in the offseason. It's just that some of us have the balls to actually tell you that the season's over before it starts. It takes big cojones to do that, right? Because you put yourself in a corner. You're like, hey, I'm in the John Crook corner. Anybody know what the John Crook corner is? Well, if you know that reference, then you know what I'm talking about. So you corner yourself, and then there's no way out. If that doesn't happen, you're in. You're done, bro. That's it. Oh, people are going to come after you. But you're at least being honest. So what's this must win for? Must win that you're going, if not, you'll fire McDaniel. Do you think he's not going to get fired anyway? Must win because it'll save the season. Do you think you're really going anywhere? I'm sorry. Oh, you mean if the Heat add Precious Achua, it means like second round of the playoffs or something? Oh, give me a break. So a must win for what? For your sanity. Because in the big picture, he's going to get fired. In the big picture, everything's going to get blown up. In the big picture, there will be changes. In the big picture, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to the playoffs. You're not going to have a winning season. That's the reality. So the must win is only and simply for your sanity. Nothing more, nothing less, because it's really not a building block to anything, is it? Seriously. Like, Sean, really, if you win against New England, a bad team, okay, and you eke out a win, does it really mean, does it catapult you to think, oh my God, no, yeah, you know, week one was an aberration, that's it, it's over, and we're off and running to the playoffs? Is that really what you're thinking?
16-0 from here, baby.
I knew I was going to get that. I mean, come on, let's be honest. That's what we do here. We just say it like it is. Good, bad, or indifferent, we just say it like it is. You may not like what you hear, but at least it's the brutal honesty. It's only a must-win for your sanity. Nothing else, dude. Nothing else. You're not saving anything. What's going to happen will happen anyway, regardless. By the way, Hialeah Racetrack, Hialeah Casino, because you can bet on all the racetracks around the country, because you've got the simulcast center, you got TVs all over the place. So get on down there, and they can show you how to sign up for the app, so you can bet on the sports app too at the same time, teamed up with Hard Rock. All of that, take advantage. Go visit our friends at the Hialeah Park and take advantage, folks. Loose slots, giveaways every month, and by the way, every hour. Okay, in the afternoon, starting at 4:00. Where the hell is that damn sheet? I know I have it here somewhere. Where there we are.
I can tell you what it is. It's 6 rings.
Bad beat. Okay, you got it? You got it? 4 J's or better beating a straight flush. All right, they give away $50,000 to the loser, $30,000 to the winner of the high hand, and $20,000 for the entire table. That's pretty good. They got a Royal Flush promotion at $101K. It was the other day. They add 1,000 every day. So right now it should be, if nobody want it, it's at 104. How about that? So go visit our friends at Hialeah Park. Go see Steve Calabro. Tell him, hey, what's the Jersey guy got for us? What pick does he have for us? Because the Jersey guy will have a pick for you. That's what it's all about. All right. Don't forget, folks, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. The great Ocala Joe, thank you for the love on Cash App, sir. Appreciate you. Este país está del carajo. Yes, I agree. Our country has gone to shit. I agree wholeheartedly. Unfortunately, our country has gone to shit. And I don't see it getting any better. That's the depressing part of it all. I don't see it getting any better. Absolutely sucks. What else do we have? The Drew says 2 wins by December seems about right. Holy crap. And Brian goes, I say 12-4 from here, baby, with a bunch of laughing faces. The Browns paid Watson to what? Does that mean a F up is an F up? Yeah, and they can't cut him. And they just can't cut him. They can't just release him. Is that crazy? Because you have to, there's a certain amount of window that you have to wait for the money to expire before you can release him and then take a certain, you're going to take some kind of a hit, but it's a manageable hit at least. Right now, it's unmanageable what you would do if you cut Tua. It just doesn't make sense. And he's really not the problem. It's just you have a terrible coach that doesn't know how to build an offense. And so you're going to set you're going to set all quarterbacks to fail under Tua Tagovailoa. Under Mike McDaniel. Look at all the other quarterbacks when they had to fill in for Tua. They all struggled. Why? Because of him. Go look at Steve Young in a Tampa uniform and then go look at him everywhere else. That's how it is. Go look at Tua in Alabama, and when this is what I would say to was it Christian? What's the name of the dude that sent in the Christian? This is what I would send to Christian. So when it was an even level playing field, Jalen Hurts and Tua, they were on a team that could block and run. Who had to transfer? Who won the national title? I'm wondering who did that. Oh, it was Tua. Oh, because they had a competent coaching staff. They had a line that can block and run, because that's what you do when you have, if you're going to have a running quarterback, then okay, that's fine. But if you have a passing quarterback, you must run the ball and you must block. And that's where everyone that's a Tua hater and thinks he can't do it, then explain to me what happened in Alabama. Because the guy that won the Super Bowl couldn't stay in town. Tua put his foot in his ass and sent him home. That's all. And what, you think they won last year in Philadelphia because of Jalen Hurts? You think because Jalen Hurts was this phenomenal passer or something, that's why they won? Or because they could run and dominate on the offense and defensive lines? So to think that Quinn Ewers or any quarterback is going to come in here and save you with that coach, with that line, with that running game, no. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. Just explain Alabama to me. Saban had to make a decision in the heat of the moment. He was going to lose that game, and at halftime he said, "No, let me have Tua. You go benched, and you get the hell out of here. Go to Oklahoma." He needed a passer That's what Tua is. Not a runner. He's not out there to break tackles. He's not an athlete. He's not a football player. He's a passer. He's a specialist. Just like Marino was, just like Manning is, just like Brady is. They're just specialists. These guys are not going to win anything with their legs. You got to give them the time, and you got to give them a running game. Or if not, it's going to be really hard on them. Really hard on them. And that's whether you want to admit it or not, that's the problem with the Miami Dolphins. And it's been the problem for 45 years, by the way. You never consistently run, and you never consistently block. Occasionally, you'll have a couple of linemen. Occasionally, once a decade on average, let's say, you'll have a back that, produces a hell of a season or something. Because think about it, in the last 45 years, okay? Follow me here, Sean. Last 45 years. Am I right here? The Jay Ajayi year, the Lamar Smith year, and the 2 Ricky years. Anything else in the last 45 years of a dominant running game from a back for a year? In 45 years. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar going 1,100 yards and scoring 15 touchdowns that were 1-yarders. I don't count that. I really don't. That's not, just in case, because somebody, hey, Kareem got 1,100 that year. And I know. But I watched it. It wasn't a dominant run. It wasn't a run. At least I give Ajayi, I give Lamar Smith. They were impactful. And then obviously the 2 Ricky years. In 45 years. So that's like one on average. No, Reggie Bush, that was a bullshit year. He barely got 1,000 yards. He played 15 of the 16 games. He was broken down for the 16. And rest in peace, Tony. It was the stupidest thing in the world. He used him as a running back and not a pass catcher, which if you use him as a pass catcher, you would have gotten way more production out of Reggie Bush. Nobody was preparing for Reggie Bush. You were preparing for Ricky. Lamar was chugging, bro. And I give Ajayi love that year. He played well. He had some games that were good. We have 4 impactful running back years in 45. Think about that. Not one for Tua, but, Although Mostert year was all right, actually, right? He did get 20 touchdowns, but it wasn't like, again, kind of a finesse running game. But you know what? Let me give Mostert at least love. Let's go with that one as the 5th one. Okay? 5 in 45 years. Since, we need a 5th one for the 5th decade, we're in the middle of it. We got it already. We got our average for our decade. Let's give Mostert a little love, even though it's not like a scary running game, but it was decent. Give him some love for that. He deserves it. So 5 out of 45. Think about that. That's bad, bro. That's bad. You said it, right? Hip-hop, Ronnie was okay. It wasn't really, What were the Ronnie Brown years, by the way? How were they? Because he was a good player, man. It just didn't kind of work out the way we all wanted it. Let me see the Ronnie Brown one. That's a pretty good one. Let's see. Because I know he had like 1,000-yard season sometime, right? His second year, 1,008. 4.2 yards per carry, and he scored 5 touchdowns. No, I'm not giving it to him. You know what I mean? But, whatever. Like, Ronnie it really wasn't worth the pick. Great guy, solid football player, was never worth the draft pick that he was selected in. But it wasn't like a running game that was anything special. In 2008, he scored 10 touchdowns and 916 yards. 4.3 yards per carry. Like, okay. But again, not a scary running game. That's just you you're not going to win consistently if you don't have a consistent and respected running game and an offensive line that can protect your quarterback. And until we get that, you're not going to give Tua or anybody else really an opportunity to win. Yes, sir.
I went to StatMuse just to look up. They didn't go that far back. Went back 10 years. And it shows how many games each running back in the last 10 years played with the Miami Dolphins. And I'm looking at the list. And there's 4 total players out of the 25 on the list that ended up having over 1,000 yards rushing with the Dolphins. And some of them are over 2-3 years getting the 1,000 yards. I mean, this list is not that. I was like, wow. I mean, you got Kenyon Drake, Jay Ajayi, which you mentioned, Raheem Mostert, and the other one is Myles Gaskin. The only ones that sorry about that. Did you get feedback there? Or just me?
What happened to your mic?
Did it go off again?
You went underwater or something? Can you guys hear Sean all screwed up like underwater? Damn. What the hell happened to your mic there, bro? That was crazy. Do you think Tua throws an interception in his first drive? Yes, in his first, his second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh drives. He's going to throw 7 interceptions this week. That's what he'll do, yes.
So he'll do better than last week.
I'm sorry? Yeah, it sounds like, you sound like Jacques Cousteau. Yeah. Christian, he's back. McDaniel effed up with Mostert season 100%. Wasn't that the season that the Titans lost some? Yeah, McDaniel's a clown, bro. Christian, you can't win with McDaniel. The guy didn't even know what down it was in a playoff game. Do you know how stupid and embarrassing that is? It's ridiculous, bro. Nobody wins with McDaniel, Christian. Nobody. You win in spite of his ass. That's why haven't I consistently laughed and disagreed at people that say, oh, McDaniel saved Tua. No, dude, Tua, his successes were in spite of McDaniel. It's you're fighting his system. You know, it's just terrible. It really is. The last scary running game the Finns had were in this. It's the 70s for sure. When I was a kid, when it was Zonka and Kickin' Morris, you were scared of that. With that line and that, yes, you are 1,000% right. And that's the last time that you were dominant. And that's the last time that you were respected. Really. You were in the 80s and early 90s. Follow me on this because I lived it. We were carrying that torch of, one of the great franchises and a winning percentage and all that. But you really think about it, the 80s and the early 90s, you were living off the reputation of the 70s because you would fail at all your big moments in the 80s and the 90s. Didn't matter. Whenever Shula and Marino were in a big moment, they choked because their team wasn't good enough. It wasn't physical. It was finesse, all that same shit. But you were winning a lot of games because Marino was a freak. Okay, all right. We were blessed. We had a super freak there. Tua's not Marino, never will be Marino. Marino is a once-in-a-lifetime type of player that you get. Okay, but now you have no reputation. Now you are living on what you've been for several decades now. But if you really think about it, you were kind of living on a hollow reputation in the 80s and early 90s because you really didn't accomplish anything big. And any big moments that you had, you failed miserably. So you haven't been respected and you haven't played respectable football since the 70s. Why, Christian and others? You don't run and you don't block. You don't win at the line of scrimmage. And if you're going to lose at the line of scrimmage, like you did in the 80s with Jay Brophy and the boys, or Eric Kumaro and the boys, then this is what's going to end up happening. And if you can't run like you did with Larry Little and the boys and Jim Langer and the boys, then this is what's going to end up happening. And if you don't have a Don Shula on the sidelines instead of a Mike McDaniel, then this is what's going to happen to you. I mean, it's really simple math. I don't know why a lot of our people cannot come to that realization and don't understand it. And then you've got like our boy Christian thinking that, bro, Quinn Ewers is going to save us. No, dude. The quarterback's not the problem. Your problem is that you just don't know how to run an offense in the NFL. And it's been like that for decades. They just don't know how to build and run an offense to succeed. True Fin fan, thank you for the love on the super chat. Divide 5 into 45, one every 9 years. Wow. It's crazy. And in the 70s, it was every year we're kicking your ass. We're running the ball down your effing throats. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Right? I mean, it was like we lived to watch Zonka carry 3 or 4 guys. Like shit that we had never seen before. And then, Mark Bavaro did it years later in the 80s for the Giants. He was kind of the Zonka of tight ends. There once in a while those guys come around and it was fun to watch, dude. How Zonka just that helmet, that broken nose, and just coming at you like a train, dude. Awesome. 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 And then we hit you with Morris and kick. That stuff just was once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime. And when you have that, it changes the dynamics of everything, man. When you can hand it off to that bull and he is going to intimidate the hell out of the other people on the other side of the line, we don't have any of that. We have no intimidation whatsoever on offense. That sucks. Really sucks. Christian says, I want to be clear. My Ewers comment was taken out of context. I do not think he will change anything, but at 1-9 or 0-10, what else do us fans have to watch? But you're blaming it on Tua. You're blaming it on Tua. Okay? You're blaming it on Tua, which again shows that you're reading it completely wrong. We knew and know what this season is. However, I want to see how Tua reacts and performs in the next few weeks. I'm not taking it out of context, bro. You're the one that's screwing up. You said, I want to see how Tua performs in the next few weeks. He's not going to perform well if you don't run or don't block. And if you have a moron on the sidelines. I don't know how many times I got to repeat that. So you're expecting something different with the same crap that's going on. And then if the decline continues, the decline is not the quarterback. The decline is the offense, that they figured it out, that they figured the coach out. So you can't do anything about it. All right. Christian, I need you to answer a question for me. Are you old enough to did you see the last couple of years of Marino and JJ? I'm wondering if you're still watching, because you just put a text. Are you old enough am I talking to somebody that lived the end of Marino's run with JJ? I just want to know. Yes. Okay. So was Marino's decline Marino with JJ? Because I can bring up the numbers. The numbers are a fraction of what he used to put up with Shula. I mean, Marino was sucking those years with JJ. What do you think? What do you think? Was Marino declining? Oh, Oh, no, it was JJ. I felt horrible for Dan. Wow, what a fucking double standard. So you feel horrible for Dan that they took away his audibles, they took away his pass catching backs, they took away his Pro Bowl wide receiver and all of that, and they limited him. And then the final year he had the bone spur, which then was physical and all that. That wasn't, that was physical. It was something that was out of his control, unfortunately. But you don't blame Tua, but you blame Tua for a coach that can't get plays in on time. He doesn't have by the way, Marino could change the play on Shula. Shula could send in a play and Marino could call whatever goddamn play he wants. Can Tua do that? No. Did Jimmy allow him to do that? No. Damn, so we feel sorry for Dan Marino, and we don't feel sorry for Tua that has no one that can block. Okay? Jesse Davis and company this week, the right side just said, no, we're not blocking him, and they just cold-cocked him right from the back. They can't run the ball, so that's Tua's fault. The guy can't get a play in on time, so that's Tua's fault. Receivers at times can't run the right routes. That's Tua's fault. On 3rd down and 16 against Green Bay, the coach doesn't know that the top 2 receivers asked out. That's Tua's fault. It's Tua's fault also that Waddle drops passes and Tyreek drops passes. It's also his fault that these guys are constantly asking out. It's really amazing, bro, how you can have sympathy for Marino and watch JJ screw him over, and you can't watch how the Dolphins are constantly screwing their quarterback over. Bro, we had the last coach said, let me start him against the Rams. Wow. Yeah, no, that wasn't deliberate, of course. No, wasn't. No, we had JJ sabotage Marino, and we had Flo sabotage Tua. And then this guy indirectly sabotages Tua. The other guy wanted to sabotage Tua and sabotage Tua. This guy is too stupid, and he doesn't even understand that he's sabotaging Tua. But you have sympathy only for Marino, not for what's going on with Tua. Got it. Got it. Got it. So in that Buffalo game that he throws a touchdown to Sherfield, drops it. Throws a touchdown to Tyreek, drops it. Then he throws a pass that easily would have been a touchdown to Brandon Sanders, and he cuts it off. Tua's fault. Kansas City game. Yep, he throws a bomb that's perfect for Tyreek. He drops it, no points. Then you throw the screen, he drops it. Kansas City touchdown, Tua's fault. Everything is Tua's fault. Everything. Everything that goes on is Tua's fault. So I get it. I understand now. That tops it all right there. You saw a coach sabotage Marino, and now we've watched 2 coaches. One is a saboteur, and the other one is an indirect saboteur, and we don't recognize it. No, let's just blame Tua. Of course. Yeah. He's the one that draws up the plays. He's the one that's limited to the play they call. Yeah, no, it's bro, it's all his fault. Yeah, no, Quinn Ewers will do so much better. He'll block, because Quinn Ewers, Christian is onto something. I did not realize this. Okay. He has like a fantastic 4 power, Quinn Ewers. When he drops back, he just goes like this, and it's like a force field. They can't pass. So then he can look around. It's like a second-level offensive line. Christian knows about this, that Quinn Ewers has that. Yeah. Yeah, he also came from Krypton. Quinn from Krypton. That's what it is. And so he has that force field. So he knows that Quinn Ewers comes with his own offensive line, offensive force field. So it's a force field behind the offensive line. That's why. That's what it is. Christians all over it. We're a bunch of idiots. That's all I can tell you. It's amazing. The things we find out here. Quinn Ewers, superpowers. Pretty amazing. I like it. I like it. My wife tried to can 4 jars of chicken stock. None of the jars sealed. Tua's fault. That's right, that bastard. Yes, Ewers is Superman. Ask Christian. He knows. He knows about these things. Howie says, Big O, we are just frustrated fans, bro. No need to bash. Well, I do it for a living. Don't worry about it. It just kind of goes with the whole thing of the show. Christian goes, I can't get work done at the office. You're killing me. LOL. Love you. See, he gets the show. He gets the fucking show. Anyway, McMillan, Greer, Tua, McDaniel, fundamentally flawed, period. If that's what you want, then yeah, go for it, bro. But thank you for the super chat. Big O, not even Mighty Mouse can save the day. Look up in the sky. It's a plane. It's Quinn Ewers, Superman. Rod R says, at least Ewers hasn't been pounded enough yet to play scared. Tua looks like a guy that's been pounded one too many times. Yeah. That's great reasoning, bro. That's fantastic reasoning. The shit you guys come up with it's really hilarious. Dan B says, I just don't understand why Greer did not make an ultimatum and make McDaniel give up play calling no matter what. That is a great question. And, you know, if you listen to the show, there's a part of me that thinks that this is not his guy. And what he did this entire offseason is to plan this transfer. Because the way I looked at it the entire offseason, the way you built this team, there's no way you were going to succeed because it was razor thin in so many areas. And there's so many injuries that go on in an NFL season to all teams pretty much. And you don't have a guy that knows how to overcome all that. So for me, I'm expecting a change. And this is the part I'm most intrigued about this entire mess that's gone on. Because if they somehow also release Greer, then that was his guy. But if they don't, then we know that there's more interference, and it's never stopped, as we've known. That for a long time now, the general manager in the Dolphins has always been able to been interfered with by somehow, by some way, by the owner, by the other owner, by whatever. And there's always, or the GM or whatever it is, there's always something going on here. And people get, I don't know what it is, but it wasn't like Ireland had total control. It wasn't like Spielman had total control. It's just weird like that, dude. And it's been like that forever. And I am so intrigued about that part of it. As I've explained many, many, many times over, if you look at the entire history of Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel does not fit his history at all. So it was weird that he went completely opposite of everything he's ever been associated, works with, knows with, dealt with, whatever. It's weird. And I am dying to find this out. And we're going to find out now. We're going to find out because was it Percy Sledge? Change is a coming. Is it Percy Sledge that sings that? Change is a coming. Can you look it up for me, Sean? That song, Change is a coming. Yeah. Or somebody help me out there. If it wasn't Percy Sledge, if you can beat Sean to it. Do you think we would stay to 9 wins? I don't know. Yes, sir. What'd you say?
Sam Cook.
Oh, Sam Cook. Thank you. Sam Cook. Okay. There you go. Legend. Stud. Sam Cook. By the way, Greta Van Fleet remade that song, and I think they did an awesome freaking job with that Sam Cooke song. Really, really good job with it. I play it every once in a while. Not just the Sam Cooke one, but the Greta Van Fleet version of it. I thought that was excellent, their version of it. Do I think Weber can get us to 8 to 9 wins? I don't know, bro. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I just want to give it a chance, because if we wait till the end of the year, like I've said before, we're going to lose him. We're going to lose him up. Or he's going to go somewhere else. He won't come back here. I don't believe it. But if we put him in place now and put him in charge and find out, and he can get comfortable and, maybe give him a little extra love there, and then maybe we can keep him and find out if he's the guy, let him make the run here this year, and we'll see under really difficult situations what's the best he can do. And then we can see if there's a guy that can work with less, well, we find him more, then he'll do better, but I know what this guy that we have now can get a lot done with more, and isn't going to get more done with less. So he's an underachiever in every way possible, and you saw it. I mean, the guy had the entire offseason to prepare for the Colts, and that's how you look. That's a disgrace, dude. That's an absolute disgrace. So Ray says, I agree 100%. Great version by Greta. You know it. There you go. Very good version, man. They did an excellent job. Seal did a remake of Changes a Comin'. Really? Wow. That's interesting. So was it rockish, or did he electronic it? You know what I'm saying? Did he dance it off? Like, did he change? Because Greta kept the edge, the rock edge to it, and it worked out really well, dude. Really, really well. Okay? If you got to take the Sam Cooke version 1, but I'm putting Greta right there at number 2 with that version. That was really, really good. So, but that's interesting. Seal. I gotta hear that one. Ty in the Bronx says, Big O, the Dolphins have fallen. Shaking my head. They've fallen and they can't get up. That's our Dolphins. Let's see. Marino would be his offensive line isotoner gloves for protecting him. Now they buy them Rolex watches. Yeah, they didn't make that kind of money back in those days, like they do now. Now they make a nice chunk of change, so they can treat their guys to it. Although it's not like there's an offensive line here you want to treat to anything, right now they wouldn't earn shit from Marino at this point, unfortunately, If you take a shot of whiskey every time McDumbass says ums and ahs, you die of alcohol poison. Yeah. Ums, ahs, and all rights. Yeah, there's alcohol poisoning there. There's no doubt about that. Let me get to a little music here. Big O, do you play fantasy at all? I stopped playing a couple years ago. I was big into fantasy, always had fantasy segments and all of that. I did fantasy in this town before everybody else. I remember fighting with the people at QAM 25 years ago, hey, fantasy is going to be big, this, that. And it would be like pulling teeth for me to be able to talk fantasy. The owner would tell me, we broadcast, we don't narrowcast. It was a great line. It's a great line. I've used it actually in the past. It was a fantastic line, but he was wrong. And so was my program directors. And then eventually they gave in and let me do fantasy and do a fantasy show. Craig Mish and I used to do fantasy. Hell, we used to do fantasy football. We did fantasy baseball. That was later on down the line that I was able to get a little baseball in. But football, it took, man, you have no idea how hard it was for me to get them to talk fantasy back in the day. I was way ahead of everybody on that stuff. And yeah, so I was a big fantasy guy for many years, for a few decades. And then that's it. I kind of stopped about 3 years ago. I stopped playing fantasy. I got no more time, bro. I got no more time. No more time. So my fantasy team now, I check it every day. I go and I look and I see Cardano and Star Atlas and Alethea Liquid Intelligence and Avalanche, Chainlink, Hedera, Jasmy, Caspa, Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Vanguard Chain, XRP. That's my Pendle. That's my lineup. Immutable X. That's my lineup. So that's my fantasy lineup now. That's been my fantasy lineup for a few years. So I traded in fantasy football for crypto. And it's paid off much better than fantasy football does. Much better odds than fantasy football if you do your homework. Even if you do your homework in fantasy football, you can still get burned. All right, let's get to birthdays. Let's start off with musicians born on this date. We start off in 1977 with Ludacris, American rapper and actor Chris Bridges, born in 1977 on this date. Richard Ashcroft from The Verve, the singer, born in 1971. Harry Connick Jr., actor, singer, pianist, composer, born in 1967. Moby, Richard Hall, producer, vocalist, born in 1965. Mick Talbot, co-founder of the Style Council with Paul Weller. I saw Paul Weller in concert last year in Seattle, dude. God, I was so blessed to be able to see that. But anyway, Mick Talbot and Style Council, so good. He played a couple songs from the Style Council days. John Moss, drummer with Culture Club, born in 1957. Tommy Shaw, singer, songwriter, guitarist with Styx, born in 1953. Mickey Hart, one of the two drummers for the Grateful Dead, born in 1943. And that is it for musicians. Now we will go with other famous people born on this day. Remember, if we don't give you an age, that means sadly they have passed away. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button while you're watching. Here we go. College Hall of Fame member Paul Bear Bryant, born on this date in 1913. Former Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos, born in 1917. Hall of Fame member Tom Landry, born in 1924. Astronaut Robert Crippen, born in 1937. He is 88 today. Filmmaker Brian De Palma, born in 1940. He is 85. Actress, musician, didn't know she was still with us, Lola Falana, born in 1942. She is 83. Actor Scott Patterson, born in 1958. He is 67. Actor John Hawkes, born in 1959. He's 66. Actress Virginia Madsen, born in 1961. She's 64. Actress Christy McNichol, born in 1962. She's 63. What was that show? Family? Was that the show that she was in? Christy McNichol. And what was that movie? Little Darlings with Tatum O'Neal. That was and Matt Dillon is in that movie too. A young Matt Dillon is in that movie. That's a funny movie, actually. That's a decent movie. I don't know if it holds up. I haven't seen it for. You know who's also in Little Darlings? She's a kid in that moment, and she's there. She's part of the group of girls. The blondish redhead girl is the same girl from Sex in the City. The redhead, that's the girl from Little Darlings. I forgot her name now, but that one is the girl. She's the girl from Little Darlings. The Peace Girl, the space cadet, if I remember. Oh, you know who's also in Little Darlings? He's really young too. An actor, like he's got like a French background. He was in Saving Private or something, whatever, with Goldie Hawn. God, what was his name? But he's also in that movie too. I remember. Now that I think about Christy McNichol back in the day. Let's see what else. All right, here we go. Move on. Tajari P. Henson, born in 1970. She's 55 today. Actress Laura Wright, born in 70. She's 55. Elizabeth Henstridge, the actress, born in 87. She's 38. Sean Stanley. Do you have wrestlers born on this date? I know you have one because I almost said it. Oh, that's right. You're underwater.
Does the mic work?
Oh, God, you're underwater.
Say it.
Copy and paste it. Send it to me or something. Send it to me by text or something, and I can at least fill in our wrestling people on that. What the hell happened to your mic, dude? Jesus. I will get to music history now after Sean sends me the list. And by the way, Bitcoin's at 114,351. It was at 500. It's moving around. Let's see what else. All right, here we go. All right, John Paul Heyman, born on this date. That was the name that was there. The Wise Man, not Sean, but the Wise Man. Also celebrating birthdays today. Those are it. Those are your wrestling birthdays today. Just 2. All right. Let's move over to music history. What happened today in music history? I know you all are really at the edge of your seat going, well, what happened? Well, in 65, the Beatles started a 9-week run at number 1 on the U.S. album charts with Help. I Need Somebody Help. Not just anybody. The group's 6th U.S. chart topper. In 71, one of my favorites, the animated Jackson 5 series premiered on ABC. Love it, bro. The Jackson 5 cartoon. I watched that religiously. Are you kidding me? In 76, I was at Machine Shop playing video games on Coral Way with my dad, and they were jamming this. In 76, KC and the Sunshine Band went to number 1 on the U.S. singles charts with Shake, 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 Shake Your Booty, Shake Your Booty. The group's third number 1 hit. And like I said, they used to jam music at the Machine Shop, which was a big old arcade in Coral Way back in the late 70s, mid to late 70s. That was fun. Let's see, what else do we have? In 79 on this date, The Who made their first appearance in the U.S. without their late great drummer Keith Moon, replacing him at the Passaic, New Jersey gig with ex-Small Faces and Faces drummer Kenny Jones. Let's see who else. In 79, Foreigner released her third studio album, Head Games. That's all I get from you is Head Games. And it had the singles Dirty White Boy, Head Games, Women, Love on the Telephone, and I'll Get Even with You. In 82, John Cougar Mellencamp, it was just John Cougar in 82, okay? Let's get that shit straight. Had 2 singles on the U.S. Top 10, as well as the number 1 album, the singles Jack and Diane and Hurt So Good. Were number 4 and number 8 respectively, while Mellencamp's album American Fool was at number 1 for the first 9 weeks, and it was the best-selling album of 82. Now, my favorite song of that album is Everyone Needs a Hand to Hold On To. I like that song. Hand to Hold On To is a great song. Don't need to be no strong hand. Don't need to be no rich hand. Everyone needs a hand to hold on to. In 82, Frank Zappa's Valley Girl reached its chart peak at number 32 on the Hot 100. It's the only top 40 hit for the eccentric singer who released over 60 albums in his lifetime. His daughter, Moon Unit Zappa, played the Valley Girl in the song. Your daughter comes up with your biggest hit ever. And Frank Zappa produced so many musicians. So many great musicians played for Frank Zappa and then moved on for bigger and better things on their own. Like they learned a lot. They learned about music with Frank. And he was a different cat, dude. Different cat, music that most of us will not like, but nobody could ever challenge him musically. Like you knew he was a great musician, period. You may not like his music or his style or whatever, but you knew he can write music and he can play. And the people that were in his band, they were also excellent musicians. You didn't have to like the music, you know. I wasn't a big fan of his music, to be quite honest, but immense respect for the talent. You know, it's weird, but hey, the guy did what he wanted and it made him happy. And he did 60 albums, must have done something right. You know what I'm saying? So God bless you. You didn't have like this major type of success, but you got a lot of respect for a long time and you got to do it your way. There's something to be said about that. Mariah Carey in 93 started an 8-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts with Dream Lover. In 95, Blur released her 4th studio album, The Great Escape. It features Country House, The Universal, and Charmless Man. In 2000, Huey Lewis and Gwyneth Paltrow released a cover of Smokey Robinson's Cruisin' as a duet. The single reached number 1 on the adult contemporary chart for a week and also appeared in the 2000 film Duets, which stars the pair. By the way, I had no idea they did that. This is the first time I'd ever heard of that. Let's see, what else do we have here? In 2001, Bob Dylan released his 31st studio album, Love and Theft. It features songs Tweedledee and Tweedledum and Mississippi and Summer Days. I don't know any of them. In 2001, Nickelback released their 3rd studio album, Silver Side Up. It features the singles How You Remind Me, Too Bad, and Never Again. In 2007, Kanye West, his crazy ass, released his 3rd studio album, Graduation. It features the singles Can't Tell Me Nothing, Stronger, Good Life, Flashing Lights, and Homecoming. In 2009, Muse released their 5th studio album, The Resistance. It features the title track Uprising, Undisclosed Desires, and let's see, what else do we have? One more. Is there anyone that's worth it? The Flaming Lips in 2020 released their 16th studio album, American Head. All right, let's see if we got any birthdays on this list that I did not mention before. No. Kygo's 34. That's the only thing I did not mention for sure that I remember out of that list. And there you go. That's what happened today in music history. All right. Don't forget, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. We appreciate it as always. Thank you. It's hard to do Dylan, bro. You know? Pep is a Rolling Stone. I know it's a hard impression. It's weird. It's like a sound. It's not like a great vocal, but it's a sound. You know? That's what it is with the good old Bob Dylan. I'll tell you, when you watch that documentary of We Are the World, it's funny as hell how uncomfortable and out of place he is in that video. And it's a documentary of how they put together We Are the World video and all these amazing singers that are there. And then there's Bob Dylan. And it's just weird. It just like, whatever. They made it happen. They made it work and all that. And obviously you had Quincy Jones in there. He might know a little bit about producing, just a tad, just a little bit. So it kind of, but it's funny. If you ever want to watch something like Uncomfortable, it's a great documentary overall and you get a lot of nuggets. But the one scene with Dylan is funny because he is clearly like super uncomfortable. Oh man. Maybe because Bob Dylan had already single-handedly changed the world. Yeah, but it just, his voice didn't belong in the whole thing. And he was waiting apparently forever there. And it's just like, he just looks like he really looks like a really good person. He just looks like he's a good person and wants to do well and mean well and all that kind of stuff. But he just kind of looks so out of place there because there's these voices that are being belted out. And, it's just like, here's Michael and here's Cyndi Lauper. And it's just like, and then here's Bob Dylan. And it's like, yo, bro, it's woo, he went down, way down there, It's crazy. Crazy. But yeah, not the biggest fan of his music, to be quite honest, because I don't like his voice as much, but his lyrics, they cannot be denied, man. They cannot be denied. His music cannot be denied. Many people have remade Bob Dylan songs because they're pretty freaking good, so even with that voice, sometimes you can even deal with the song. Taraji still looks good for her age. Yes, she is a good-looking woman. I would agree with that. Ray says, oh my God, Little Darlings classic. Cynthia Nixon. That's it. Cynthia Nixon. She was in it. Cynthia Nixon. She was the little flower girl in that. And then Armand Asante. Nice job, Hector. Thank you. Armand Asante. He's the one that I gave my love a cherry. He was like singing, with that with the guitar and all that. And what's her name? Tatum O'Neal falls in love with him, and she tries to sleep with him and all that. I don't want to ruin it for you all if you've never, spoiler alert from the late 70s. Is it 70? What Little Darlings? Well, what year was it? I'm going to go 79. Little Darlings. Here it is. Little Darlings, the movie. 80. Off by 1 year. Little Darlings is a 1980 teen comedy drama. There you go. You know, they don't even mention Cynthia in there. It says Tatum O'Neal, Christy McNichol, Armand Asante, Matt Dillon, directed by Ronald F. Maxwell. That's it. And they don't mention Cynthia. Because you kind of gotta, unless you like know the whole thing, you won't know that she's in it. Hell, you may not even recognize her because she's a little girl then, you know. But it's a funny movie, actually. It's a funny movie. I was then. I haven't seen it in forever. But I wonder if it still holds up to a certain degree. If anybody watched it recently, you can give us a scouting report on a movie that is 45 years old now. Hey, since Little Darlings, that's exactly what our Miami Dolphins have been. They're just little darlings for 45 years. Oh, wasn't it darling how Woodstock made it to the Super Bowl? Oh, wasn't it darling how Dan Marino lit it up on offense and got to the Super Bowl? Huh? Right? We're just darling, you know? Mike McDaniel, he's just darling. He's just cute and funny. Oh, man, what a trip. What a trip. All right, folks, we're out of here. We appreciate all of you out there. Thank you all for tuning in. Those of you that sent in a super chat, thank you. If you made a donation, Cash App or Venmo, we appreciate it immensely. If you hit the like button, we need that immensely, whether you're listening on podcasting, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever, or watching at any time, please, or if you're watching any of the other segments, hit the like button. Remember, Saturday, we've got a post-game show for you for the Canes and for South Florida. Manny Navarro will join us fresh from the locker rooms. Dolphins on Sunday. We'll do the pregame show starting off at 11:30. We'll do the post-game show. David Furonis and Chris Perkins, fresh from the locker rooms, will join us, whether they win or lose, either way, but we'll have it covered for you. All of that and more. We thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. live from Acura of Pembroke Pines. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most